We don't really operate with a fourth wall. And so even for our more typical performances, the intent is to have the audience, as it were, or listeners or whatever, really feel like they're part of the performance itself. Our mission statement is to provide relevant, excellent, and pertinent, exciting, dynamic theater and other kinds of production for stage and for real life that is engaging.
Yes, green, and then, oh, she's the Wicked Witch of West from your father's book.
I absolutely love our mystery and adventure agency. Years and years ago, I would do a couple of one-offs here and there, like a mystery birthday party for friends. In essence, we have 4 things that you can buy. You know, we have the tailor-made luncheons, dinners, weekends. Like you can have a James Bond weekend. You know, you can have just lunch for yourselves and all of your cutthroat friends.
I love interactive theater. It is not the same as stage acting, and for a number of obvious reasons. You're not on a stage. The phrase, all the world is a stage, really comes to life when you do interactive theater, because you literally are interacting with your audience. The audience is engaging you.
We're into it, we're asking questions, trying to figure out what happened, like reading the clues, watching people, so yeah, we're into it. And I think I would definitely come again.
The very first part of preparing for the show is truly, because you are so up and close and personal with your audience, you don't have to just prepare to speak like them, you have to act like them, you have to smell like them, and of course there's always the historical part of it. So if it's 1920, you're looking at Prohibition. What are some of the things that they say? You're not going to be able to say whatever to somebody in 1920. They didn't talk like that. You want to make sure that you're using fabrics and makeup and as much as possible to really get the experience down, because you're recreating a very visual experience for your audience.
I never had that sense of, and never wanted to do performance as a way to be famous or have gallons of money or do ads on television. That sort of thing just never had any appeal to me, because I didn't even think of it. You know, performance always has been, how do we connect? My mother got her undergraduate degree in theater and then went on to become a social worker. And she was amazing. You know, she is amazing. But in her working career, her whole life, she used various kinds of performance arts to help children process some pretty horrible situations. And I grew up in that environment. We have a physical theater company called Kakeru, which is a Japanese word that means a number of things. One of them is flight. Again, we don't really have a fourth wall. You know, it's inclusive. It's more typical theater, but it's really movement theater. It's physical theater. So it still has that street theater flavor. And it's all of the stories have this feeling of taking flight and have what I like to think of as extra value. I mean, it's not just entertainment. So clowning has to typically involve a compassion for people. Clown-based community projects inevitably arise out of situations where there needs to be alternative ways of people discovering and transforming themselves, their relationships, their community. A lot of times these kinds of projects take place in hospitals with children who have a potentially terminal illness. But much of our work focuses on people who have Alzheimer's and dementia, in part because in North America, there are a lot of resources available for children, more so than for folks who are at the end of their lives. So a lot of our projects that are clown and community based focus on that kind of population.
Interactive theater is a great way to forget, just for one night, everything about yourself and about your day and about the world, and really, it's like make-believe for adults.
Oh, how could you? She's noisy. I can't wait till I'm done talking.
We as humans have a fantastic imagination that I feel on so many levels is never tapped into in our daily lives. With this kind of interactive theater, you're encouraged to dress the part. You're encouraged to really immerse yourself in the era that we're recreating for you.
I think it takes a little while to loosen people up and get people to get up and start talking to one another, but I think once you do, it's fun. So.
Even in Shakespeare's time, there really isn't a fourth wall. Forms of performance like commedia dell'arte and any clowning form have always been interactive, and street theater, which is the oldest kind of theater, and storytelling and all of that is meant to be brought to life by that intersection. We're seeing a re-emergence in the past decade of forms of street theater that would include busking and circus-related types of performance.
We're expecting more from our live entertainment. I believe that this is, the idea of playing Clue is fantastic. If you can really take that to the next level, I really do think this is becoming more front and center because it feels more modern than going and sitting down in a theater and looking at a screen or looking at a stage.
I would say definitely in the past decade there's been a greater attention and celebration of those kinds of interactive pieces.